Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel Doctor of Optometry. Today our topic is anatomy and physiology of cornea. So let's start the video. The cornea is the transparent front part of the eye that covers the iris, pupil and interior chamber. The cornea with the interior chamber and lens refracts light, with the cornea accounting for approximately two-thirds of the eye's total power. In humans, the refractive power of the cornea is approximately 43 diopter, while the cornea contributes most of the eye's focusing power. Its focus is fixed. Accommodation, the refocusing of light to better view near objects, is accomplished by changing the geometry of medical terms related to the cornea, often start with the prefix "krat" from the Greek word horn. The cornea has unmyelinated nerve endings, sensitive to touch, temperature and chemicals. A touch of the cornea causes an involuntary reflex to the eyelid. Because transparency is of prime importance, the healthy cornea does not have or need blood vessels within it. Instead, oxygen dissolves in tears and then diffuses throughout the cornea to keep it healthy. Similarly, nutrients are transported via diffusion from the tear fluid through the outside surface and the aqueous humor through the inside surface. Nutrients also via neutrophils supplied by the nerves of the cornea. In humans, the cornea has a diameter of about 11.5 mm and thickness of 0.5 to 0.6 mm in the center and 0.6 to 0.8 mm at the periphery. Transparency, a vascularity, the presence of immature resident immune cells, and immunologic privilege makes the cornea a very special tissue. The most abundant soluble protein in mammalian cornea is albumin. The human cornea borders with the sclera via the corneal limbus. In lampreys, the cornea is slowly an extension of the sclera and is separate from the skin above it, but in more advanced vertebrates, it is always fused with the skin to form a single structure, albeit one composed of multiple layers. In fish and aquatic vertebrates in general, the cornea plays no role in focusing light, since it has virtually the same refractive index as water. The human cornea has 5 layers, possibly 6 if the dwarf is included. Cornea of other primates have 5 known layers. The cornea of cats, dogs, valves and other carnivores have 4. From the interior to posterior, the layer of human cornea are corneal epithelium, an exceedingly thin multicellular epithelium tissue layer, non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium of fast-growing and easily regenerated cell, kept moist with tears. Irregularity or edema of the corneal epithelium disrupts the smoothness of the tear film interface, the most significant component of the total refractive power of the eye, thereby reducing visual acuity. It is continuous with the conjunctival epithelium and is composed of about 6 layers of cells, which are shed constantly on the exposed layer and are regenerated by multiplication in the basal layer. Bowman's layer, also known as the interior limiting membrane, when discussed in lieu of a subepithelial basement membrane, Bowman's layer is a tough layer composed of collagen, mainly type 1 collagen fibrils, laminin, nidogen, perilicane and other HSPGS that protect corneal stroma. When discussed as a separate entity from the subepithelial basement membrane, Bowman's layer can be described as an acellular, condensed region of the apical stroma composed primarily of randomly organized yet tightly woven collagen fibrils. These fibrils intact and attach onto each other. This layer is 8 to 14 micrometer thick and is absent or very thin in non-primates. Corneal stroma, also substantia propria, a thick transparent middle layer consisting of regularly arranged collagen fibers along with sparsely distributed interconnected keratocytes, which are the cells for general repair maintenance. They are parallel and are superimposed like book pages. The corneal stroma consists of approximately 200 layers of mainly type 1 collagen fibrils. Up to 90% of the corneal thickness is composed of stroma. There are two theories of how transparency in the cornea comes about. The latest arrangements of the collagen fibrils in the stroma. The light scattered by an individual fibrils is cancelled by destructive interference from the scattered light from other individual fibrils. The spacing of the neighboring collagen fibrils in the stroma must be less than 200 nanometer for there to be transparency. Goldman and Bendeck. Descemet's membrane, also posterior limiting membrane, a thin cellular layer that serves as the modified basement of the corneal endothelium from which the cells are derived. This layer is composed of mainly of collagen fibrils, less rigid than collagen type 1 fibrils, and is around 5 to 20 micrometer thick depending on the subject age. Just interior to Descemet's membrane, a very thin and strong layer, Those layer 15 microns thick and able to withstand 1.5 to 2 bars of pressure. Corneal endothelium is simple squamous or low cuboidal monolayer, approximately 5 micrometer thick, of mitochondria-rich cells. These cells are responsible for regulating fluid and solute transport between the aqueous and corneal stroma compartments. The corneal endothelium is bathed by aqueous humor, not by blood or lymph, and has a very different origin, function, and appearance from vascular endothelium. Unlike the corneal epithelium, the cells of the endothelium do not regenerate. Instead, they stretch to compensate for dead cells, which reduce the overall density of endothelium, which affects fluid regulation. If endothelium can no longer maintain a proper fluid balance, stromal swelling due to excess fluid and subsequent loss of transparency will occur, and this may cause corneal edema and interference with the transparency of the cornea and thus impairing the image formed. Iris pigment cell deposited on the corneal endothelium can sometimes be washed into a distinct vertical pattern by the aqueous currents. This is known as Kruskensburg's spindle. The cornea is one of the most sensitive tissue of the body, as it is densely innervated with sensory nerve fibers via the ophthalmic division of the trigeminal nerve by the way of 70 to 80 long ciliary nerves. Research suggests that the density of pain receptor in the cornea is 300 to 600 times greater than skin and 20 to 40 greater than dental pulp, making an injury to structure excruciatingly painful. The ciliary nerves run under the endothelium and exist the eye through holes in the sclera apart from the optic nerve, which transmits only optic signals. The nerves enter the cornea via 3 levels: sclera, episclera, scleral, and conjunctival. Most of the bundles give rise by subdivision to a network in the stroma, from which fibers supply the different regions. The 3 networks are midstromal, subepithelial, basal, subbasal, and epithelial. The receptive fields of each nerve ending are very large and may overlap. The corneal nerves of the subepithelial layer terminate near the superficial epithelial layer of the cornea in a logarithmic spiral pattern. The density of epithelial nerves decreases with age, especially after the 7th decade. The optical component is concerned with producing a reduced inverted image on the retina. The eye's optical system consists of not only 2 but 4 surfaces, 2 on the cornea, 2 on the lens. Rays are refracted toward the midline. Distant rays, due to their parallel nature, converge to a point on the retina. The cornea admits light at the greatest angle. The aqueous and vitreous humor both have a refractive index of 1.336 to 1.339, whereas the cornea has a refractive of 1.376. Because the change in refractive index between cornea and aqueous humor is relatively small compared to the change at the ear-cornea interface, it has a negligible refractive effect, typically -6 diopter. The cornea is considered to be meniscus lens. In some animals such as species of birds, chameleons and species of fish, the cornea can also focus. Upon death or removal of an eye, the cornea absorbs the aqueous humor, thickens and becomes hazy. Transparency can be restored by putting it in a warm, well-ventilated chamber at 31 degrees centigrade, 88 Fahrenheit, the normal temperature, allowing the fluid to leave the cornea and become transparent. The cornea takes in fluid from the aqueous humor and small blood vessels of the limbus, but a pump ejects the fluid immediately upon entry. When energy is deficient, the pump may fail or function too slowly to compensate, leading to swelling. This arises at death, but a dead eye can be placed in a warm chamber with a reservoir of sugar and glycogen that generally keeps the cornea transparent for at least 24 hours. The endothelium controls this pumping action, and as discussed above, damage thereof is more serious and is cause of opaqueness and swelling. When damage to cornea occurs, such as in viral infection, the collagen used to be repaired the process is not regularly arranged, leading to an opaque patch, leukoma. When a cornea is needed for transplant as from an eye bank, the best procedure is to remove the cornea from the eyeball, preventing the cornea from absorbing the aqueous humor. Thank you for watching this video.